let us solve the question number 12. Where the question number 12 says that the set of all real solutions of the inequality 2 mod x greater than mod of x minus 1 is this, and this. Okay, so where I have to find out the set of all solution of these inequalities. In other words, I need to find out the values of x which satisfies this inequality. Okay, what I am going to do, I am using the base method of solving this problem is elimination method. I am going to eliminate the options. Now just see, first of all let us discuss option B. Option B equal to all such x such that minus 1 less x less than 1. So I can say that 0 belongs to B. Let us check whether 0 satisfies this inequation or not. So 2 into mod of 0 is greater than mod of 0 minus 1. So 0 greater than 1. So this is not correct. So I can say that 0 is not satisfying this inequality, and hence option B is not correct. Okay, so any set having 0 cannot satisfy this inequality, right? Now I can discard option B. Now let us see whether option A is true or not. Option A says that all such x such that x greater than 3. Now just see the question. The question says the set of all real numbers. So if this is our required option, then all such x which satisfies this inequality are belongs to this set. Now observe that if I put x equal to minus 2 in this inequation, I am putting x equal to minus 2. So 2 into minus 2 is equal to 4, and mod of minus 2 minus 1, so this is minus 3, this is 3. So 4 greater than 3, hence I can say that minus 2 is satisfying this inequality. So option A cannot be our correct option, as this question says that all the real numbers. Okay, so option I can discard option A. Okay, so let us talk about option C and option D. Okay, we have to discuss about option C and option D. They are the remaining options. Okay, now options, just see, option C says that if this is our number line, it is our 0, this is our 1, this is our minus 1, and here is minus 1 by 3, and here is 1 by 3. First of all, let me take a point between 1 by 3 and 1, and let's see whether this point satisfying this inequation or not. I am taking minus 2 by 3 between minus 1 by 3 and 1. So let us see whether minus 2 by 3 satisfying this inequation or not. So just a minute, let me erase this. The inequation is 2 into mod of x greater than mod of x minus 1. So 2 into mod of minus 2 by 3, and it will be 2 into 2 by 3 is equal to 4 by 3, and minus 2 by 3 minus 1, so it will be minus 5 by 3. We know that 5 by 3 is greater than 4 by 3, and hence I can say that this point x equal to minus 2 by 3 is not satisfying this inequality, and this point lies in this interval D. Hence I can say that option D is again not the correct option. So the remaining option, option C, is our correct option. Okay, so that's all about the question number 12. B2 non-empty sets and f such that S to T be a function such that f of A intersection B is equal to f of A intersection f of B for all subset A comma B of S, then we have to find out the correct option. The first option says that there exists a subset A of S such that f inverse of f of A is not equal to A. There exists disjoint subset A comma B of S such that f of A intersection f of B not equal to phi. Third option says that f is 1 1. Fourth option, none of the above statement is necessarily true. Okay, so we have to find out the correct option. First of all, let us check the option number B. Okay, which says that there exists two disjoint subsets. Let me take two disjoint sets. Let A and B be two disjoint sets, means A intersection B is equal to phi. Okay, if A intersection B is equal to phi, I can say that f of A intersection B is equal to f of phi. What is f of phi? F of phi is phi. Okay, and by this condition f of a intersection b, I can say that this is nothing but f of a intersection f of b equal to phi. If a and b are disjoint, then f of a and f of b must be disjoint, so option b is not correct. Okay, now let us discuss about the option number a. F inverse of f of a is not equal to a says. If I want to prove f inverse of f of a is equal to a, first I need to show this set is a subset of this set and this set is a subset of this set, right? So first of all, let me take a point from this set. X belongs to f inverse of f of a. If x belongs to f inverse of f of a, I can say that fx belongs to f of a. Now if fx belongs to f of a, it means there exists y belongs to a such that f of x is equal to f of y. From the both side, I cannot remove f unless or until I have shown f is 1 1. So now our next target is to show f is 1 1 or not, or rather our next target is to check f is 1 1 or not. That is our option number C. So I am going to check our option number C, whether f is 1 1 or not. So let me take 2 points. Let x comma y belongs to A such that f of x is equal to f of y. Okay, in other words, I can say that these two sets fx is equal to f of y, right? Singleton set fx is equal to singleton set f of y. In other words, I can say that f of x intersection f of y is not equal to phi. Now what is f of x? Let me consider a set a1 is equal to singleton x and a2 is equal to singleton y, right? Then f of x is nothing but f of a1 and f of y is nothing but f of a2. Now we observe that f of a1 intersection f of a2 now not equal to phi. If f of a1 intersection f of a2 not equal to phi, I can claim that a1 intersection a2 is also not equal to phi. If a1 intersection a2 is equal to phi, so I already proved that if a1 intersection a2 is equal to phi, it will imply f of a1 intersection f of a2 is also equal to phi. It will imply f of a1 intersection f of a2 is again phi, but I have already shown that f of a1 intersection f of a2 not equal to phi, which is a contradiction. So a1 intersection a2 is not equal to phi, right? If a1 intersection a2 is not equal to phi, what is a1? This is x and this is y, right? Not equal to phi, it will imply x is equal to y. Therefore f is injective and hence option C is our correct option. And from this I can remove f from both sides. It will x equal to y. It will imply, as if we choose and we choose y belongs to a, it will imply x belongs to a. Therefore I can say that I choose x from f inverse of f of a. I have shown that x belongs to a. Therefore f inverse of f of a is a subset of a. Okay, I already got my answer. I am just showing why option A is not correct. Now let me check a point z belongs to a. If z belongs to a, it will imply f of z belongs to f of a. It will imply z belongs to f inverse of f of a. Now I took z from a. I have shown that z belongs to this set, so a subset of f inverse of f of a, and hence these two sets are equal. So option A is not correct. So that's all about. And the question says, let x1 x2 dot dot xn belongs to R be distinct real, then define a set A equal to n tuple f of t f1t f2t dot dot fnt belongs to R, where 1 less or equal to k less or equals to n, if kt is equal to 1, if t less or equal to is t greater or equal to k, and 0 otherwise, right? So first of all, let us observe the function. Okay, there are n real numbers x1 x2 up to xn, x1 x2 dot dot up to xn, right? So if 1t is equal to, you can see that if there is k, there is k. So I can say that 1 if x1 less or equal to t and 0 otherwise case it means x1 greater than t. Okay, now if this is our number line and this is x1, you can see that the value of f1t is 1 if t is greater than x1. So in this side the value of f is 1. Okay, the height of f is 1, and in this side the height of f is 0. f1 is 0, right? So similarly we can say that we can find f2t, f3t and all the functions f up to fnt. Now as there are n real number x1, x2 dot xn, I can arrange them in an ascending order or in an increasing order. Okay, without loss of generality, I am assuming that x1 less than x2 less than x3 less than dot xn. Without loss of generality, I can do that. If x3 is the highest number, so I can arrange them in that order. So I am, without loss of generality, I am assuming that x1 less than x2 less than x3 dot less than xn. Okay, so I can write, just a second. Now let this be our number line. Okay, and this is x1, this is x2, this is x3 dot this is our xn, right? So if we choose t less than x1, okay, now if t less than x1 and x1 is the least number, I can say that t less than xk for all k equal to 1, 2 dot up to n. Hence the value of fkt is equal to 0 for all k. So this element 0, 0 dot 0 belongs to the set A. Okay, now if t x1 less or equal to t less than x2, so in this range I can say that the value of f1t is 1 and fkt is 0 for all k equal to 2, 3 up to n. So this is, so this become 1, 0, 0 dot 0. So in this range it will, this also becomes a, so if you choose t from this range, it will give us the function 1, 1, 0, 0 dot 0. If you choose this range, it will give us the value 1, 1, 1, 0, 0 dot 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4 dot up to n. So this is, here we will get 1, 1, 1 dot 1. So there are n plus 1 distinct values. So option D is our correct option. Okay.